Let's talk about let's talk about the green groups. I mean, we're kind of on a roll here with the infiltration of left-wing, alt-left. Number one, the dots which point to the final solution, which they would really like to impose on us. And number two, the infiltration of not only alt-left groups and Muslim extremist groups, and now we find out, to our horror, communist Chinese groups in our education systems. Now we find in yet another report that's come out, in fact, came out February 20th, that the green groups, the environmental groups, have been infiltrated and are being funded by Russia and China. This is why we're wasting our time on the Russian collusion Trump nonsense. Really? No kidding. FARA, that's FARA. In fact, you actually heard about it this week because Cohen got a criminal referral from the Republicans on the committee for not following the rules of FARA, which is the Foreign Agent Registration Act. It appears, and this might be one good thing that came from the Mueller nonsense that's going on. Quote, if the Mueller probe has any real benefit, it is that it's opened the door for the Justice Department to employ FARA as a basis to investigate green groups that are undermining our country and aiding and being aided by socialist and communist regimes. That's Mark Fitzgibbons, very famous kind of, has his head screwed on right, environmental lawyer. The Foreign Registrations Act, folks, predates World War II, just so you know. It goes way back. And basically it says that anybody who acts as agent or on behalf of any foreign principles, quote, in a political or quasi-political capacity, unquote, they have to disclose that relationship periodically, and they gotta furnish to the United States government their activities, receipts, disbursements, all that stuff. Unfortunately, FARA, except where Mueller has used it to, hammer some of Trump's team, having nothing to do with Trump, unfortunately, FARA has not been enforced too much. And what this Senate committee has found, and by the way, this was prompted by Judicial Watch. Tom Fitton, the president, I tell you all the time how Judicial Watch is just rocks, and support them. By all means, support them. In fact, I think if you go to politics, you'll see, or one of the sections where we have a bunch of articles this week. Make sure you read the immigration articles, the women articles, and yes, the family safety articles, and of course the treason articles. Well, read them all. Be informed. This is Tom Fitton. We already know the law has been selectively enforced. Violations of FARA have typically been handled administratively. If you didn't file paperwork, you were told to file it. But the Mueller Special Counsel operation, desperate for prosecutions, started criminally prosecuting FARA regulations where they had never been criminally prosecuted before. Paul Manafort, for instance, folks, Richard Gates, in an indirect way, although he was caught for lying, but it came from a problem with FARA. In the National Security Advisor, General Flynn. And during the exchange, Gosar, he is a Republican from Arizona, a Republican congressman. In this hearing, Gosar was questioning Fitton. It was pretty interesting. And he wanted to know if environmental advocacy groups would be taking orders or were taking orders from a foreign government or were beholden to a foreign government financially. And this included, Fitton said yes, by the way, and they're after all sorts of documents right now from these groups. I'm going to give you their names here in a moment.